All right, fam, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed the clips of the run that I did with them. It's either going to be before or after this clip. We'll see how that goes once everything comes out. But I want to talk about a topic today. And we are in November now by the time that this video should come out. But last week, or last month, I should say, was Suicide Awareness Month, talking about October. Okay? Now, I know this is a touchy subject, and before I say anything, I do want to preface by saying I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a professional life coach or therapist or anything of the sort, right? This is just me, what I think, and what's been on my mind, okay? If there's anything that you disagree with or agree with, let me know in the comments. My Instagram is linked, I'd always love to talk, man, but this is just what I would like to say about it. So I think we can all realize that this is a problem, not too long ago, maybe a few months, a guy that I grew up with back home committed, this act. And we also had an incident not too far from where I am now of somebody else going through it. And as we're looking at service members, as most of us are, 22 a day. And I don't know about you guys, but in my eyes, that's 22 too many. Right? So we can agree that this is a problem, whether it's because of the way that the world is today and what we're exposed to, or just that it's a trend now. And it's tricky to say. And honestly, I didn't know what I was going to say when I made this video, but I knew that I wanted to talk about it. So here we are, right? And going into it, what I've learned is that, man, in life, we're always in a spiritual warfare or a mental warfare, and all of that happens in our head, right? And so this Sunday, it's a Sunday today, I was watching a sermon from my pastor back home, Pastor Lance D. Watson from the St. Paul's Baptist Church, Richmond, Virginia. I'll drop the link. And he spoke on the subject of removing clutter from your mind, right? As a whole, just putting your mind in the right place to win this spiritual warfare. Because as we know, a lot of people are unfortunately losing that battle, right? So the first thing was just knowing that, we are in a spiritual warfare, right? There's things that I think all of us struggle with, right? That's not uncommon. Everybody has something. That's why we encourage others to treat others that they would want to be treated, because you never know what somebody else is going through, right? But at the same time, there are a few points that he made that spoke to me, and I hope can speak to somebody else, okay? And I got them written down here, right? And the general topic of it was everything is about our mindset, right? Everything that we think about plays into our life, right? So the question is, how do we unclutter our mind? How do we win this spiritual battle? And the first one was, don't believe everything that you think, okay? A lot of the thoughts that run through our mind come from places of fear. They come from places of anger, sometimes hurt, and this is just all negatively speaking. Of course, they can also come from sources of inspiration, excitement, joy, all these things too, right? But the ones that we're focusing on right now are those negative ones, the ones of fear, of hurt, of anger, things like that, right? And a lot of times we can go overboard, right? So it's important not to believe everything that goes through your mind, especially when we're having those negative thoughts, right? So if we're talking and that a thought is going through your mind, that is an angry one. And you can usually feel it if you really kind of pay attention to yourself. You can feel what thoughts are angry. You can feel what thoughts are bitter and things like that, to others or to yourself. And then The mission isn't to try to fight it or forget about it, but to replace it. Okay? You see that thought, recognize what it is, figure out where it's coming from and why it's coming, and then replace it. You know, I know that trying to be positive can be spun out on people, right? We always hear, oh, just stay positive, stay positive. But I do believe that being able to replace that thought is important. And it's up to you what you replace it with, you know? Turn it into something that inspires joy, uh, things like that, man. So, yeah. Personally, I love an underdog story, right? Those are the types of movies I love. The Pursuit of Happiness is my favorite movie, or one of my favorites. Things like that, or against all odds, but this, you know. So replacing that thought is very important. And the second one is guard your mind against garbage. We live in a world today that I believe a lot of information, a lot of things are shown to us at a very rapid pace. Whether we're looking at the news, whether we're looking at social media, especially, things are always being fed to us. And that it's important not to fill your mind with garbage, as Pastor Watson said, right? Just like there's junk food that we know is bad for our body, there's junk thoughts and toxic thoughts and information out there that is bad for our mind as well, right? That's why you have to be careful of what you consume. And consuming isn't just eating, but what you're listening to, what you're watching. All of those things create thoughts in your head, you know? So if you're listening to something that's negative, whether it's music or something like that, and again, this is on my beliefs and what I've learned, then those things will play out in your mind, right? Everything that's in your mind will come into your life. So one is just to be careful about the things that you're consuming, right? That could be specifically social media posts, right? Over the years, I've been starting to wane off of it. I don't use it as much as I don't scroll as much as I post nowadays, right? I love to post. That's what I like to do. Creating all of this content for us, that's something I like to do. So I would rather, you know, put something out there than always scroll, or I kind of, you know, I cut down my follower list, all these types of things, just to be careful of what I'm consuming. The same thing goes for when I'm on YouTube, when I'm watching a movie, when I'm listening to music. I'm always saying, okay, do I really want this thought in my mind? Or should I switch this song? Okay, now this feels like something I want to play out into my life. All right, so that's just something to be aware of. So those are two main points, man. Another one was never stop learning, right? Continuous improvement, and then just renew your mind daily. But I think I mentioned this in another video, is just to believe in something, man, right? Like I said, we're all in this type of warfare. Battles that each one of us fight every day that nobody else knows about. But believing in something, that's what gives us hope, right? You can look at people from all types of life in the most darkest circumstances of the world, whether we talk about, you know, the Holocaust or slavery and stuff like that. The aim is always to keep hope, right? And so with life today, with all the things that are being thrown at us, I encourage others to find something to believe in. Something that inspires you. Once you want to look forward at life and find what it is and see what's next. Right? So that was my word. Another thought is when we're sad, and this is like I don't remember where I read it, but it's like some type of fact that I know I've heard from years ago. That was when we're sad, instinctively we like to go around other people, right? So I encourage others to go around other people, not just other people, but the right people, right? We don't want to distract ourselves, but you know, we want to surround ourselves with supportive people, man. I encourage somebody to find what they believe in, okay? And again, this is just what I've learned. I pray that this helps somebody. encourages somebody, and maybe just improvement for everybody, that for all of us. But this is my word today. I thank you guys for watching. I appreciate the growth and that this channel has always been, and as it continues to grow, I appreciate everybody that taps in, comments, likes, and subscribes, man. Let's keep this family growing. That's our word for today, and I thank you guys for watching.